More so things to invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's items only, the investment gonna talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. So it's my second posting as of today. Respect to recording time of 1:12 p.m. on the Eastern time. Ethereum coin trading $3,501, down about 0.01% so far. On the overall of the crypto market, with respect to Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Cardano, seems like it's kind of trend on a sideways fashion. Also Solana as well, kind of just like flat, not doing much. But with Bitcoin's currently up about 1.31%, XRP up about 2.4%. Polkadot is surging at the moment, up about 13.11%, while ALGORAND is up about 1% respectively. In respect to the equity side, it seems that we had a slight surge earlier this morning, as obviously the sector rotation is still happening. But as we hit the around like the noon time, or like somewhere around like 11:45 a.m. on the Eastern time, we shifted, a more of a reverse back down a little bit because of the CPI report that's expected to come out tomorrow. And I think the release time is going to be somewhere around like 8:30 a.m. on the Eastern time tomorrow. So I'll definitely keep an eye out on, how the report's going to look like, because that will triangulate into the market dynamics going forward. So right now it's going to be relatively more of a binary, outcome. We do not predict the numbers, nor are we in the quantitatives into the statistics either. So we will have to watch, but we're in the business of risk mitigation. So, by doing so is to look into the frames of technical reference on dollar cost averaging wisely from there, right? So I think based on the historical ones, every single time, I would say in the last 3 consecutive CPI report, has always been leaning more for a positive one, right? I think the last 3 has been positive. I think the last one was positive. The one before was also positive, but the first one was more of a mixed signal. But it's still leaning more toward a positive because we are slowly recovering from the COVID situation and reviving back to the economy. So we have to watch to see how that will triangulate, because that will translate subsequent to the Fed's mandates, which is the job numbers on their quantitative tapering plan going forward, right? And with that, we'll hear a confirmation from Jerome Powell in the FOMC meeting in the subsequent month in November, right? So a lot of catalysts, these are macro catalysts we have to watch out for, but ultimately, we have to watch. And I think based on the setup right now, we know that the overall macro trends is still negative on crypto because of the overall bot level, and also with the well back in terms of the curvature that we're forming right now. And RSI is still relatively overbought, right? So something we have to watch out for. So with respect to the news on Ethereum specifically, Bitcoin came out 14 minutes ago, talk about a big difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, according to the founder, Vitalik Buterin. So it's a just position news talking about the differences between the two in terms of utilization, the future adoptions, and some of the pain points that we've been experiencing so far, right? So it's an interesting, informative read without any, biasness or persuasive message, if you may. So it's actually worth a read. It's relatively comprehensive, and I think Vitalik does, speak a lot about his point of view as well. So the next one is on Fox Business 7 hours ago, talk about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum, all trading lower early on Wednesday morning. So this is something that we have seen so far, but I would say because of the fact that the equity side was, anti-correlating, dragging the, crypto side to go down slightly early this morning. But as we reverse back up, reverse back down on the equity side and reverse back up on the crypto side. Again, the reverse relationship, right? We are normalizing right now, so just kind of trending on a sideways fashion. Beside, obviously, as we have talked about, Polkadot up about 14% right now. And the next one on Bazinga, another reminding news, talk about that an analyst is seeing a buying opportunity ahead. I think, there are obviously, I think a couple of weeks ago, JP Morgan did release that, there is going to be a correction that's sizable in Q4 that we ideally want to hit back to the low 1800s or the 1750, which is the technical dip that we all collectively bought. I bought, 3 Ethereum at that level. So I think, do we see that happening? I think that would be a very sharp level to drop. Number one, that would require us to break like 12 resistance levels in the technical charts. So I'm not sure like within this quarter would make any sense at all unless all the whales start dumping because of a really negative outcome from the FOMC meeting on basically Jerome saying that we're banning crypto. If that's the case, yeah, absolutely we'll see a huge bloodshed, if you may. But I don't think that's really going to be the case because he did say that they have no intentions of doing so. Despite, on the other side of the world, China is suspending all the 10,000 crypto mines at the moment. That's a political issue. That's another topic of discussions. But I think at the moment right now, despite the lack thereof from China, we still sustain at the current level. 1,700 don't quite make any sense to me. I think that's more of a fear, or just like try to negatively drive some media affectation, if you may. So that's pretty much on the news front. There isn't a lot of news coming out today. So with respect to the current level, we are forming a well back, as we said, right? We are slowly curving together with the 57.70. So that means as we curve down, right, that will be a death cross, and that means we have to subsequently go back down to the next comfortable level of the 3,150, the 2,070, 2,450, right? I think 2,450 is still a stretch from where we at right now. Because by then we'll be very depleted, and I think we'll sharply bounce back very sharply. So right now it's still a bearish setup, despite how the CPI would come out tomorrow. It might change it if we have like a very surprise report, but I don't think that's the case at the moment right now. We are just going to be trending away. Ultimately, I think, in terms of the news, right, the macro chart doesn't lie to us, and the momentum always shakes out that way. So, and, with respect to the report comes out tomorrow, that if it's going to drive up the crypto side, I think it would be relatively short-lived anyways. So it's not a gamble that is worth making at the moment. So something we have to be mindful of, right? So Bitcoin, we are still forming a whale back. We could see that the whale is in the sky right now. So the whale is flying, which is a rare sight to be seen. We're at the 73 out of 70 right now. And we getting dragged up is because some of the news report that came out today talking about a price target for Bitcoin to hit 70K by the end of this year in December. I don't know how logical that is because we're screaming extreme overbought right now. Again, we have to go down to at least bare minimum of the $45,000 or 46 for us to recuperate and go back up, right? So something we'll be mindful of, right? Dogecoin right now, we are forming a well back. We're curving down, so definitely more sell-off coming. We're at the 46. So it's not like a huge sell-off, but I think we will see until like 21 and then ideal at the bottom 19. Cardano, we are having a lag effect. We are still at the 43. It seems like we're just dead in the water, trending on a sideways fashion, percolating. I don't think a sell-off will be extreme, but I think, going down back to the $2 would be a more logical dip, and that will require us to get back to the low 35 on the RSI scale. And I think that could be a pretty interesting one. And, the longer the tail stretch, right, the larger the stretch will be. And I think right now we're not in like a negative momentum. We are actually in a bullish momentum for Cardano. So it's opposite in comparisons to the other ones. Solana, we just formed a death cross. We had the 48. So I think a more sell is imminent to the 111 and even to the 95. We break the 100. But ideally for me, I'll just wait until the 68. XRP right now is forming a well back again, comparable to the other ones, 56 out of 70. So ideally, coming back to the $1 mark to buy at bare minimum would be ideal. If we break $1, 93 and 88, right? And the reason we have a sharp drop is because we have to form the gap here, right? So definitely be cautious. And if we break the 88, we have a long way to go to 78 because of this even larger gap that we form here, right? So something to be cautious of. XRP is more volatile for the obvious reasons because it's a coin that has legal issues, also at the same time more prone to well manipulations. So Polkadot right now is surging, and right now it's mainly driven by public investors. Obviously, a news popped out talk about Polkadot, and that's why it's driving it right now. But we know we're still in this head and shoulder pattern. So this is mainly driven by just public investors chasing in. 62 off 70 overbought right now. So I think this is going to be relatively short-lived. I think we might hit to the 38 and then sell back down from there, and as we hit 70. We might even break above it, to be honest with you, if there's some more euphoria trend that's going on. But by then we'd be at 70 and that will sell off from there. So I don't think the risk reward is the best level at the moment. Algorand, again with a gap that's formed, we are forming a def cross right now. We at the 52, so definitely not a good setup. Ideally, you want to buy at least at the bare minimum at the 160 to the $150 level. So with respect to the market cycle, again, we're at the anchor stage, and we're going to see like a huge leap, well, which we have seen already, and then we're going to see some more of a zigzag sideways downward slope. And respect to the price target, these are the ones that are identified for the respective coins that we've talked about in the charts. I just kind of listed out, in more of a simplistic, easily digestible manner for you guys. So feel free to ask me questions. I know tomorrow's the CPI report. I'll definitely keep an eye out on the outcome of that and also triangulate that into, what's the right tactical move forward, right? So I really appreciate you for dropping by and have a great rest of the Wednesday. And I look out for the next video coming up. Take care. Bye.